Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and welcome back to... World of Horror, you know what it is. We were waiting for the drop. Or the lead-in, or whatever the music... Whatever the technical music term is for that. That's what we were waiting for. Woo, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. And can I just tell you what? Having, like... This is cool, right? You got, like, the yellow dude yawning. And then, when you switch over to the best difficulty, there's no yellow at all. It's pain. You see a little yellow from the photographs behind it, but it's pain. All my homies miss the yellow color. But anyways. No.
Well, we're terribly sorry. We've lost Emmerdale through some technical fault. We're trying to find the fault, and we will correct it as soon as we can and go back to Emmerdale as soon as we can. Until then, we'll play a little... I'm pleased to say we can rejoin Emmerdale.
We've lost Emmerdale due to some technical fault. We're trying to find the fault, and we did correct it, and we will go back to Emmerdale right now. Let's do Ico. Yeah. It's a little direct, I admit, but we haven't done Ico in a hot minute. Let's turn up the heat as well. I'm pretty sure we did a Thutu last episode as well, but we don't do another Thutu. Thutu is fun. So let's, all my homies like to be invited to the barbecue. So let me get the legendary mons.txt. And once again, when I click back into the game, there might be a little jump scare, just so you know. So, flashlight. Oh, I see it already, but we're gonna go in order. Second, mystery. Charisma. Knowledge. And then second enemy. So, here's the thing, alright? You know me. When I see the flashlight, the light source check, virtual reality, when I see this, and when I see Pan's Labyrinth talk to the hand, you know what I like to do, alright? It's gaming time. It is 100% gaming time. We're using Ico's default perks, by the way. I've made a serious error and lapse in judgment, but here we are. We're gaming. So another early episode, comparatively, being recorded at 5, and normally the episodes are recorded at 4 a.m. So, you know, like probably about like 10, 12 hours. Well, it's probably about like maybe like 9 or 10 hours earlier than I normally record. So admittedly, I'm not used to rambling off at this time of day, but hey, if it works, right? So the YouTuber has a 5 p.m. time zone. That's not even how that should be said. I messed it up. I messed it up on my first attempt, and now it's ruined forever. But let's go to the... Let's see what we got here, because I misclicked. We got Akamanto. We got Far Out Fable of a Fear Festival. So 2 mysteries, one of which is extremely against the player, at least until the end, in which the reward you get's pretty great. Far Out Fable of a Fear Festival, most player-sided mystery in the game, perverted centipede, botany, and coma. So here's what we're gonna do. Very controversial. We're gonna try to... Hold on, I need to be able to see OBS and my notepad at the same time. Highly inconvenient. Having a, I don't know why, but I really should get, like... I mean, this is the firstest of world problems, but I really should have some sort of setup to where I can move my big monitor to the side, and then my smaller monitor when I'm gaming. But, because I'd like to game on the small monitor and have my big monitor on the side that has all the nice stream elements, you know? Well, not stream elements, but recording elements. You know, OBS, Streamlabs, it's whatever. But let's get that water. Let's get that water. and probably an EXP boost. We do have the glitch, so we have 15-15 instead of the regular 13-13, which is pretty lucky. Although as Aiko, you don't really need it because Aiko is super strong. But here's what we're gonna do, alright? We're going to do... I kind of want to do botany first. We have 2 out-of-town mystery, or we have 2 roads closed candidates. And so I feel like botany would probably... getting one of them knocked out early is a pretty good thing, and we can get Coma later. I think what we're going to want to do is botany, Coma, Fear Festival, Pervert, and then Akamanto. But maybe we hold off Fear Festival. Maybe we do Pervert as the 3rd mystery, and then Fear Festival as the 4th. What I would like to do is I'd like to get our Charisma up to 8, recruit as many lads as possible, lads and lasses as possible, and then go to Fear Festival, and then try to get as many, whatchamacallits, allies as possible. So that sucks a lot. Like, that does put a damper in the whole plan of getting knowledge. And so I think maybe we should pivot. And just eat the -3 reason. We do have discipline in our perk deck, so it's not entirely unrealistic. I would like to get Jar of Blood soon. Because we have 15-14, I think we can afford to kick our way out of a fight, but we would like to get Jar of Blood as soon as possible. We're not going into the forest without a weapon. I guarantee you that. Now, this is an interesting enemy. So, let's see here. What do we got here? Aiko can kick. Okay, that's fine. Aiko can kick 4 times. We'll just do that. And we'll just Kobe it. That's all we could ever want. And then we'll just prep kick, he's dead. Because we're on Ithutu. I think, like, 9-6 is kind of rough, but especially going into the forest, because we don't have Hot Bath yet, but we would like... We don't want to get into another fight, but I will decide to walk. I think the plus Doom is worth it. So, what are we gonna do? We have a school mystery, so I really want to keep the empty bottle. So I guess we'll go to the tree. Hunger is... That also kind of throws a wrench into my plan as well. It's a little unfortunate. So we gotta remember the next enemy that we fight, by the way. I mean, what do you want to try to get a steak knife, or do you still want to go? I don't know if I want to go for the heavy bonk. I think I'd rather do the steak knife. Yeah, I think the steak knife is probably lucky that we got it on the first try. I think the steak knife is what we want to go with, mainly just because it's kindly refuse. Old man frowns and walks away. That's a free. This is kind of risky, like, admittedly, but always help the dog. We haven't gotten that one in a while, admittedly. And it is kind of bad for our strategy, but... Okay, so it's Tataru? No, it's Kaninko. It's Kaninko Gardener. So second enemy, Kaninko... Or Kinoko. Kinoko Gardener. Gatherer. I can read, I promise you that. And then, -3 to all, that's kind of nasty. So on the bright side... Okay, on the bright side, we have a good brace for impact because we're Aiko. And then we have... I mean, we could do 8 damage, kind of realistically. And we're taking 1. That's not that bad. 5 damage, huh? No, don't want to deal with that. Although, we could prep and guarantee this hits. Or we could do this again, which we will, because I think that's fair. And then, let's see. Man, Aiko's rough because you have to deal with the fact that... Let's see here. So we can guarantee... It's not great, because we can... I mean, I don't want to take the 3 damage, but we really, 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 really don't want to get hit here. So we'll prep this and then just kind of hedge our bets there, because we can prep and then we can do that. We are going to have to rely on some RNG to get through this. I will say that our survival entirely depends upon... our knowledge is 2 for some reason? I don't know why that is. Our survival entirely depends upon RNG, which getting Father Yasugi on that specific square right before a cadaver is basically... Darn, I thought that was a dexterity check, but I get those two confused a lot. There's 2 very similar events where investigating the stone is a dexterity check, and then that one is a knowledge check, which admittedly that was my bad. I should remember the difference. I think it's like tap into his power is what gives it away. Tap into his power is knowledge, investigate is dexterity. And the one that's a dexterity check, I believe, has 3 options instead of 2. But they're just so similar, and I go by the art most of the time. Like, if I see art that I remember, I'll be like, hey, I know that. But, yes, this was a pretty yikes first mystery. But we're kind of sailing through. We're kind of sailing through. So I guess, like, well, what's with me today? Well, I have a you know what grinds my gears? I have that kind of moment going on. So when I first heard of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I was really excited about it because I've played... I mean, I really like the Mass Effect games. Like, Mass Effect 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. That was probably one of the first games that I ever put, like, hundreds of hours into. Like, the only BioWare game that I've played more than Mass Effect 2 is Dragon Age Origins, which I have put an ungodly amount of time into. So in Dragon Age Origins, you have, whatchamacallit, like, you have, like, 10 save slots, so you have 10 characters that you can play, and then after that, you have to delete the characters, right? I have gone through Dragon Age Origins on the Xbox 360 so many times that I have gone through all 10 of those character save slots, like, twice, like, probably, like, 25 times. So I have played Dragon Age Origins an ungodly amount of time. And I really love Dragon Age Origins. Like, I always end up playing the same character, either a human warrior or an elf mage. I don't think out of the 25 different characters that I've played and probably beat the game with 15 of them, I have never beaten the game as a dwarf before. But what was I gonna say? What are we gonna take here? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna take here. I don't know what we're gonna take here. I don't. I think that we've got a second mystery, charisma. Oh, geez, these are all terrible. I think we could make the steak knife a lot better, so I guess we will, but we didn't really gain anything nice here, which is unfortunate. But, what was I gonna say? Let's get rid of the dog, just in case we need minus doom later down the line. Because I think is it the Forbidden Idol? Is that what it's called in the occult store? The basically hermit, but you can buy it. I'd buy that for I'd buy that for a fund. Oh no, that's horrible. But what was I gonna say? So I was really excited when they announced the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but now I don't think I'm gonna buy it. And it's not what you think it is. Okay, there's drama going on about it right now. And listen, while I disagree, well, I don't necessarily agree with the idea of changing something in hindsight if it's like... I mean, I don't actually know the specifics. People are just saying the game is getting censored, which I don't know the specifics, which if it is getting censored, I don't necessarily agree with that. But if it's like some people were saying that it's like a camera got changed or something, like the camera angles or whatever. And that, what is it about FemShep? Like, people are like, oh my god, Mass Effect 3 FemShep in Mass Effect 1. It's like, what's wrong with Mass Effect 1 FemShep? What's wrong with Mass Effect 1 FemShep? Do I need to know? Right, like, she's usually the Shepard that I play when I go through Mass Effect 1. But, anyways. It is coming up, that time of the... Is it bi-yearly? It's coming up for the replay of the Mass Effect trilogy, which is why I was excited when the Legendary Edition got announced, because it's like, hey, it's about that time of year where I play the Mass Effect trilogy again. But, you know, they did something that really, really, like, it got me, like, super uninterested in buying it, is that it's single player only, right? And that may come as a shock to you if you don't know much about the Mass Effect series, because it's a single-player RPG, right? Of course, like, you know, it's like, who would be buying a Mass Effect game for the multiplayer? But you lack the critical information, alright? I thought that was minus stamina for a second there, and I was gonna be sad. But in Mass Effect 3, they had a tacked-on multiplayer mode, where, that's interesting. We could actually try to see if that stacks with running shoes. If it did, that'd be hilarious. Run away from combat for free. But, hold on, let me just write coma down here. I don't think we're gonna forget it, but it's worth having in the notepad, right? But yeah, so Mass Effect 3 had a tacked-on multiplayer mode, which was a wave survival defense game, and I loved it. I loved it so much. At first, oh my god, incredibly unlucky. At first, I didn't really care about it, but then the campaign is like, hey, you can either play the multiplayer mode. We could die if I click this button. The campaign is like, hey, you can die if you click this, or you can perish. Why our charisma didn't go down, did it? Oh, yes, it did. We had leadership. No. How dare you? But, what was I gonna say? You had, the campaign mode was basically like, you can either grind in the campaign mode, or you can play the multiplayer mode a couple of times, and then it will contribute to, like, the final battle at the end with the Reapers and whatever. And so you needed to meet, like, a threshold for the final battle, or it would go horribly wrong. And so the game was like, hey, you can either play multiplayer a couple times, or you can, like, do something very annoying and tedious in single player. And so I went to go play the multiplayer mode, and the multiplayer mode was really fun. Like, the multiplayer mode was actually super fun. I played the multiplayer of Mass Effect 3 more than I played the single player of Mass Effect 3. It's so good. It's balanced in such a way that it's extremely difficult. It was, like, honestly, I kinda liked it more than Black Ops Zombies. Like, it was one of the best wave defense multiplayer games that I've ever played. And it was so fun, because you had all the different characters and the powers. Like, I know he's a meme, but I really like to play the Volus Vanguard. Like, is it Volus? I have the name, right? The little round dudes who are like walking balls. I like to play the Volus Vanguard, and I just run around with the oh god, what was that shotgun called? It wasn't the Krogan shotgun. I didn't like that one because it made my power cooldowns too long. But it was like the I don't remember what the shotgun's called. Like I remember the Revenant, and I remember the Black Widow. I remember the Krogan shotgun. I remember those things. I remember the names for them. And of course, like the regular, like, assault rifle, I remember that too, but I don't remember the name for the shotgun I used. It was one of the lighter weight ones, but I'd basically just, like, slam into people with that shotgun, and it was so fun. And yeah, it was, admittedly, what they did was one of the first games to ever do, like, the loot box thing back in the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer days. What they did was you could either earn in-game currency or you could spend money. And some psychopaths spent $20,000 on opening Mass Effect 3 boxes back in the day. Like, that was when nobody really knew what a loot box was. BioWare was almost a freaking innovator on that front. I guess they got it from, like, the EA sports games, because they were always doing that for a while. But, you know, I was just like, you could grind for everything in the game, and it was actually relatively fair. Because if you played on an easier difficulty, you'd get nothing, okay? You would get, like, you would get table scraps on easy mode. But if you did what my friends and I did, and we played on the hardest difficulty where you had all of the factions, like the platinum difficulty, where you had, like, the different factions coming together to try to kick your ass, you would get so much currency that you would be able to buy the highest tier loot box with, like, very, like, not minimal effort, because holy crap, that was incredibly hard. But if you got a good squad together, you and the boys, you and the girls rolling up to fight the Geth and the Collectors and all that, you know, you could, like, I can't really explain it. Like, it was just beautiful. And I was unlucky, okay, because I never got the Quarian character. I wanted to play the Quarians so badly, but I never got them. But I did get a lot of characters. I got a lot of the Krogans. I got a lot of the Volus. I got the Geth. I got the Geth Juggernaut, and that was really fun to play. The Geth Juggernaut was so broken. But, oh, man. Like, I will go out on a limb here and say, like, this is probably going to be the most controversial thing I've said on this channel so far, alright? So if you want to cancel me, like, 5 years from now, jot this down. The Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is better than every other Mass Effect game. I will draw that line in the sand. It is incredibly fun. It's incredibly well balanced. The characters are super fun to use, and it never got old for me. Like, I played it so much in the I played it so much, and when I heard that the Legendary Edition was coming out, I was like, let's go. But it doesn't have the multiplayer mode. And listen, I'm not gonna buy that, all right? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spend $60 to play a game that I've already played for, like, well, combined over 1,000 hours easily. But for the individual games, probably the most is like 500 or 600 hours on Mass Effect 2. I don't need that, right? Like, I don't need that in my life. I already own the games. They're over on my desk over there. And so it's like, no, of course I'm not gonna spend, like, a full $60 on, like, on a game. Never do this, by the way. Forest Watcher, send Park Ranger, never. Ever do that, ever, okay? Never send Ryoko to go check that out. You never want to do that. The blue option, but it sucks. But anyways, what was I saying? Like, you gotta... we can get lost in our thoughts here. I was expecting to fail that. I was gonna take the -2 stamina, but that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I can't sing. Like, here's the thing. I love Mass Effect 2. It is one of my favorite games of all time. And I don't really like Mass Effect 3. It's, from a story perspective, it's my least favorite. Honestly, how I would rate the games is 2, 1, and 3. 2's the best, 1's the second best, and 3's the worst. But the multiplayer mode on 3... You can't... Okay, hold on. I need to think about this for a second. So we're doing 12 damage. So can we brace? Take 3% doom? Oh my god, yes we can. Okay. And then we can just send this turn. Wonderful. Like, here, I think the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer just transcends everything else. Like, it's just, I love it so much. And we don't need dexterity ever again. So let's start patching up our stats, because they're bad. So, charisma. We're probably gonna level up 2 more times, I think. So we can get charisma back up to 8. But what was I gonna say? I think that, like, I love the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer so much. And I hate the idea that they're not bringing it back. Like, I know it would, like, it would splinter the community, because apparently the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is still going on. Like, to this day, it is still going on. Like, people still play it. Which, you know, honestly, I've been thinking about biting the bullet and buying Mass Effect 3 just to go play the multiplayer, like, on PC. Or maybe even getting the Xbox back up and playing on the Xbox 360 for the multiplayer mode, but I don't know, man. Like, when I heard of the Legendary Edition, I'm like, me and the boys, it's a convenient way to start playing the multiplayer again. I don't have to say, like, hey, buy a overexpensive old game on EA Origin. I don't have to say, like, hey, let's get Xbox Live again just to play Mass Effect 3's multiplayer mode at 30 FPS on a probably bad live service at this point. Like, I mean, we played Halo Reach before the Master Chief Collection came to PC, so we played that like a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago, I can't, well, actually probably a year ago now, or, oh crap, it's 2021, isn't it? But anyways, you know, just like, we can throw the Dust of Seeing in our back pocket for now. But just like, yeah, we played it. We played Halo Reach back in like 2019. But yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, like, it would probably be fine, and it would probably still be a lot of fun. But I was so looking forward to, like, man, how cool would it be to play Mass Effect 3 on the PC with updated graphics for the multiplayer mode, right? Like, how cool would that be? But unfortunately, that's not how things work. And so we're in a sad situation where the multiplayer mode is not coming to the Legendary Edition. Apparently, this is just what I was reading on the Steam forums. The Steam forums are a freaking mess, by the way. Like, you go into, like, this is the only reason I know about the censorship thing, is you go into the Steam forums and it's, like, just endless, like, talk about, like, the game's being censored, and then you click on, you make the mistake of clicking on the forum post, and the entire message they just put is censored, because Steam doesn't allow swear words, so it's like, you, heart, like, because Steam replaces swear words with just hearts, right? And so it's just like, you, endless amounts of hearts here, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I mean, you know, maybe they did something stupid with the game, maybe they didn't, I don't know, but it just seems like one of those things where you could probably do something more useful with your time. And I'm not saying, like, that you shouldn't complain about a product being bad. I'm just saying, like, you know, when I think about doing something like that, I'm like, you know, maybe I'll just write an email to the company and then just leave it at that. I don't really find the need to... I mean, I guess, like, public outreach is how people do it, right? Like, you're more likely... Like, I know for YouTube specifically, that's how people do it. Is you're more likely to get a response to, like, for a YouTube thing, right? If you get in trouble with YouTube and it's a fake thing, like it's false, like you didn't actually get in trouble, then there is a sort of precedent to basically say, like, hey, you're probably better going through, you're probably better going through Twitter and tweeting mean things at YouTube than actually going through Google support, right? So I don't know, I mean, I suppose that's probably the same thing with, whatchamacallit, video games and just, I mean, I assume that's the same thing with most things, but I don't know, like, it's kind of, I guess the way I would put it is it's kind of useless for every single person to post the exact same thing, but do it in different, threads. They need to, like, they need to merge the threads, basically, is what I'm saying. Because, yeah, you could have a valid complaint, and you can talk about it, but if you and literally, like, 80 other people are all saying the exact same thing with not, like, you're not saying anything new, you're just saying the same thing 80 different ways, it's not really helpful for everybody else, because, like, I had to search the forums. Like, I saw, when I logged onto Steam today, and this is how I learned about this whole thing, when I logged onto Steam today, I got a pop-up saying, hey, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming out. Would you like to pre-order it? And I clicked on it, it's like, oh, that's cool. And then I saw it, and it's single player. It's single player only. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And so, I was obviously disappointed in that. And I was confused, because, you know, Mass Effect 3, it's the Mass Effect trilogy remastered. And Mass Effect 3 comes with a multiplayer mode. And so I went on the... This is plus Doom if we fail it? Yo, let's go. The Mass Effect 3 comes with a multiplayer mode. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. We'll go on there and we'll see if we can't 3 damage sever. Excuse me, ma'am, I'll be leaving. I'll be leaving, ma'am. I hope you don't, I hope you're okay with that, but I'll be going. What was I gonna say? So Mass Effect 3 comes with a multiplayer mode, so I was confused, because it says it's the multiplayer it's the trilogy. So I went on the Steam forums, and literally everyone and their mother, is talking about how the game is ruined because of censorship. And that's like that's everything on the first page of general discussion, and that's like it's everywhere. And so I had to use Steam's Steam has a terrible search function, right? You have to click the search box, type what you want, and then you can't hit enter. You have to click the magnifying glass and then wait for like 5 minutes. That's an exaggeration, obviously, but you have to, like, you just kind of have to sit there being like, uh-huh. Any day now, Steam. Any day now, Steam. Yo, free stamina. What's up? But it's just like, well, here's the thing. Admittedly, this is coming from a place of ignorance. I assume they're all talking about the same thing because every thread is the same thing. And so because every thread is the same thing, I feel like that maybe they're all talking about the same thing. But and another thing, it's virtually impossible to figure out what they're actually talking about because every single thread is just censored with hearts because they can't stop posting, they as in the people making the threads, they can't stop posting swear words. And so I can't even read what you're saying because the whole thing is just censored because you can't stop swearing. And it's like, you know, that doesn't help anyone. Even if you have a valid criticism with the game, it literally doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. And so I guess it's just the Steam forums are a disaster, and God help us all. God bless our souls. But I did see something on Twitter today, and I mean, I highly doubt this is what people are complaining about en masse, but apparently they added like a bunch of lens flares, and they look terrible. Well, at least from what I saw, they look terrible. They honestly look like somebody photoshopped the images. But, like, I don't know. The entire reason why why all my homies hate Mass Effect Legendary Edition is because there's no multiplayer. The homies can't play it with me. Right? That's why we all hate it. I hate I mean, we could try the It's too late for this combo, but I'm trying the running shoes and the small candle. But we'll take the, I guess we'll take art knowledge, because why not? And then take charisma? Well, hold on. We're gonna kill Akamanto in one turn. I think that's not an exaggeration. So we're gonna take -3 stamina from the thing. We don't have, let's see, we got Flashlight, second Mystery Coma, Charisma, Knowledge, and second enemy, Kaneko Gatherer. Yo, let's go! But, I don't know, I think that... I mean, I just genuinely don't know. Like people complain a lot about video games, and I get it, but I also don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, it can be fun to complain about video games, but you also have to... Like, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with me. I think it's perfectly fine to complain about video games, but a lot of people, I think it gets to them. Like, I think a lot of people take it way too far. Or, not way too far, but way too seriously for themselves, if that makes sense. Like, it's perfectly fine not to like a game, but I think people just have, like, people don't have a live and let live. I guess that's how I generally feel. Is that, it's like, yeah, do we even need the Dust of Seeing? I don't know if we do. But should we rest? I mean, we could. But we'll be in desperation range, so it'll be funny. But, yeah, I just think that... Oh my god, we got Bottle of Sludge. Akamanto's done. But yeah, I just think it's weird, right? Like, at least how the forums are going. One, I have no idea what people are mad about. And two, we don't have Takahashi, so goodbye, Akamanto. I'm gonna end this lad's whole career. Yeah, we have a 100% hit chance. Jesus Christ, look at this. Look at that. That's disgusting. But I don't even think we need, since we remembered the whole combo, I don't even think we need Aiko to lose her face forever. I think we've got it. So we'll hold on to it just in case, but it's Coma and Kanonk can bonk. Anyways, it's... This was an interesting episode for sure, giving my uninformed hot take about, whatchamacallit. Giving my uninformed hot take about Mass Effect Legendary Edition. But, I mean, listen, it's like, you say that you're gonna bring back Mass Effect, and then you don't bring back my favorite part, I'm not gonna buy your game. It's just simple as that. I got Mass Effect 3 right over there on the shelf. Why would I buy something that is... I mean, here's the thing. The worst part about Mass Effect 3 is Mass Effect 3. The best part about Mass Effect 3 is the tacked-on multiplayer mode. That is honestly one of the best things that I've ever... it's one of the best modes I've ever played in a video game. Like, it's just beautiful. And, like, there really is just no other way to put it. It's just beautiful. The Mass Effect multiplayer. And so I'm not gonna pay $60 to play Mass Effect 3 again without the, pay $60 to play Mass Effect 3 again? Nah. Pay $60 to play the multiplayer again? Hell yeah. And I mean, it doesn't even make sense why they wouldn't bring back the multiplayer, because it's literally loot boxes. Right? Like, you know that in the current climate, like, sure, you'd get like you'd probably get like a Jim Sterling video, but in the current climate, it's like you'd probably make hundreds of thousands of dollars if you brought the Mass Effect if you brought Mass Effect 3's multiplayer back with the loot boxes. So it's just a baffling conclusion, and for that reason, This has been my 38-minute thesis on why me and all the homies hate Mass Effect Legendary Edition. But anyways, Steam forums being trash aside, and the multiplayer mode being gone, which makes it completely irrelevant to me and my interests, I hope that you're all having a good one. And, you know, it was a little spicy of a video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I'll see ya on the next episode of World of Horror tomorrow. And Garfield Kart tomorrow, I swear. Thank you all for watching. Hope you're staying safe out there. Peace out.